Hello everybody, how are you all doing? Welcome back to Man City Unplugged, your very own Man City fan channel. We've got a bit of a new kind of a thing for you lot. We did that in the last episode as well. We have got the live stream with a bit of tactical analysis as well. So we'll follow the game from the eyes of tactical analysis as well. I've just put out the formation here depending on how the lineups came, but it will be interesting to see what happens here. I don't know. I'm a bit confused. Is it a 4-2-3-1 or is it a 4-4-2? I just do not know. We'll have to look at that. Where will Rico Lewis play? Is it a three at the back? Actually, seems like a three at the back when we are having the ball with Rico Lewis playing alongside Rodri in the midfield. But surely, I think when we don't have the ball, I think Rico Lewis comes back onto the left back position. So this is interesting. This is actually interesting that Rico Lewis is actually stepping up into the midfield to play alongside Rodri. This probably means that Julian Alvarez can play here, Upraina can play here, Rico Lewis comes here, and your Ake, Akanji, and your Walker they just spread out in a back three. This is actually interesting. If this is the case, I think this is what Pep wants to do. Then maybe you have Pep wants to take Foden out wide, Bernardo out wide, so that it's almost a box midfield here with Rico, Rodri, De Bruyne, and Alvarez. It's almost like this. I think this is what Pep Guardiola wants to do. I think this is the box that Pep Guardiola wants to play. So that is actually interesting. Pinched by Bernardo Silva, and that's a good early ball, but Kevin De Bruyne doesn't reach it, but he gets there somehow, and it's a corner for City. I would love to see the positioning of Julian Alvarez here. Where is Julian Alvarez playing? It's a corner, and it's Kevin De Bruyne, I think, who will be taking in the corner. That's a cute corner there. Kevin De Bruyne puts the ball in. Rodri and Erling Haaland scores! Erling Haaland scores! Someone said he'll be a flop in the jump after the Community Shield. Erling Haaland has a disastrous Community Shield game, and look at what Erling Haaland does. Erling Haaland does what Erling Haaland does best. It's an assist for Rodri, and it's a goal for Erling Haaland. I have Rodri in my fantasy Premier League team, but I just kept him in the substitutes. Wonderful, wonderful header in by Rodri, and what a goal by Erling Haaland to make it 1-0 City. What a wonderful goal. The set pieces have improved. We were shit at set pieces last season. Most of the set pieces, attacking wise, defensive wise, we were very good at set pieces, but attacking wise, we were not at all good. What a header in there from Rodri, and what a goal by Erling Haaland. And it's 1-0 to City. Nathan Ake with the ball. Phil Foden. Nathan Ake. They're slowly playing three at the back, and then Rico Lewis is coming alongside Rodri. Rico Lewis on the ball. Nathan Ake coming up. Kevin De Bruyne is actually doing something interesting here, which we will actually discuss. From a tactical analysis board, he's actually doing interesting here. His positioning is well played, Nathan Ake. Very well played, Nathan Ake. That is wonderful by Phil Foden over there. Good attempt there from Julian Alvarez, I think. No, it's Kevin De Bruyne. That is a wonderful attempt there from Kevin De Bruyne. Probably could have played in Erling Haaland. I don't know, but that's a wonderful attempt there from Kevin De Bruyne. We have actually thought it could be a box midfield like this, but I think what Kevin De Bruyne is especially doing here is, I think let me just take out this box midfield. Kevin De Bruyne is actually doing this. Alvarez is playing in the middle, so occupying both the space between both the centre backs and both the midfielders. Kevin De Bruyne is going out wide here to Bernardo Silva to create overloads. This is what Kevin De Bruyne is doing here. Is just going out wide. Bernardo is going wide, and Kevin De Bruyne is predominantly playing on our right hand side and on their left hand side. So this is something interesting for me. It's not a box midfield. It's certainly not a box midfield. De Bruyne, we are creating overloads there at the back with both De Bruyne and Bernardo. And then once this is happening, surely Foden is actually coming in, and the entire play is being stretched towards Foden's coming in like this almost, and the entire play is being stretched towards the right hand side. Gautam says Haaland back to business. He is back to business, Gautam. And is that a penalty? Is that a penalty? They're doing a VAR check, I think. No, that is not a penalty. That is not a penalty in a million years. No. Vinny, come on, you know that's not a penalty. Well done by Manuel Akanji over there. I mean, the switch is interesting actually from that last De Bruyne shot. If you look at it, this is what happened. This is what Foden did actually to spark off that attack. This is what Foden did. Foden played in Kevin De Bruyne. Foden actually played in Kevin De Bruyne with this wonderful pass here, and then actually De Bruyne went on to hit that goal. So this is what Foden did. This is the pass that Foden played, and then De Bruyne did it like this. And then De Bruyne tried a shot here. This switch of play is actually interesting. The switch of play is actually interesting because this switch of play, Foden, De Bruyne, he could have played in Haaland or he could have gone for goal. It's a Burnley set piece. Bernardo does well from a Burnley set piece. This phase of play wherein you switch the ball from left to right is actually very interesting. Right from this to this, it's very interesting because it's a trademark of Juan Malilo. This is not how Pep plays. This is how Juan Malilo plays. He encourages that long switches. One of the characteristics of Juan Malilo is to take the entire play to one side and then overload the other side and then put the ball in there. You can already see the mark of Juan Malilo there. And Rico Lewis, I don't think Vincent Kompany would have expected Rico Lewis to play in the team. And suddenly you would say with this kind of play, suddenly Rico Lewis could play here and De Bruyne could come here and form a box midfield with Alvarez. Or Foden could come in the middle and he could form a box midfield with Alvarez. This is interesting. Tactically, it's so intriguing, I would say. Nathan Ake, Nathan Ake back to Edison. That is a wonderful header there. That is a wonderful header there. From Bernardo Silva, Natanake back to Edison. After that goal, City have just been on a bit of a back foot. Now you see suddenly Ricolo is dropped back a bit, almost from a back four, and then Kevin De Bruyne came near Rodri to cover up for that space. Something exciting is actually going on in this sort of a region, I would say. This is where this is where Pep is actually having his magic. He's building his magic. Gautam says personal terms agreed with Doku. I just want to get up and jump up with joy, Gautam. This is, I can't actually tell how happy I am. I didn't read that news, so thank you, thank you. Shout out to you for telling us that Jeremy Doku would just kill it. Jeremy Doku is just superb. The raw pace. You know, looking at how Jeremy Doku plays, it just brings me back the. You know, City have played some wonderful football from since Pep came, especially from the 2017 season to here. But the season last time we won the treble, but Kevin De Bruyne is here. Kevin De Bruyne with the ball in. I thought wonderful from Rodriguez. Pings the ball early. Kevin De Bruyne. What a ball from Kevin. How did you not score, Erling? How did you not score there? What a ball from Kevin De Bruyne. But you know, the season that is personally close to my heart is the Centurion season. Because in that season, you had David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne occupying those two attacking number 10 spaces. And then you had Leroy Sané making the runs and Raheem Sterling making the runs. That especially Leroy Sané, David Silva, that kind of a synergy I've not seen. I mean, David Silva threading the balls through and Leroy Sané running. That is just pure happiness for any City fan. It's almost like waking up on a lazy afternoon, having a long night before on a Friday, waking up on a lazy Saturday afternoon with not much work to do and enjoying the sunshine. Eating a lunch late in the afternoon. That's how good that feeling was, seeing David Silva pass those balls to Leroy Sané and Sané making those runs. Jeremy Doku is interesting. What's the source, by the way, Gautam? What's the source? Is it from a tier one source? Is it from David Ornstein, Mike McGrath, Jack Gone, or is it Fabrizio Romano? Who's the source? Kevin De Bruyne, are they again picking up the ball? The idea was right from Kevin De Bruyne. The idea was right. The idea was right from Kevin De Bruyne there. City are just playing with a spring in their step now. Nathan Ake, Ederson, I mean, it would be wonderful to see what will happen if Josko Guardiola occupies this kind of a space, which Rico Lewis is doing, because we know Josko Guardiola is very good on the ball. And Lucas Paqueta, how would Lucas Paqueta play in this Rico Lewis role? For example, I mean, I know he's getting Rico Lewis from that backside, from the left back position, but Lucas Paqueta would actually that's wonderful there. That's wonderful running from Phil Foden, but he's almost given the ball back to a Burnley player. Phil Foden. It's not his mistake, but Phil Foden had almost given it back. Burnley are now having the ball. They're controlling possession. City teams of the past, City teams even before February of last season would have been concerned with Burnley having so much of possession, at least in the last 5 minutes. But not this City team. This City team is absolutely uh, fantastic. This City team is like happy to play on the counter attack. Misplaced pass, misplaced pass, misplaced pass. That's a switch, that's a switch. That's a wonderful switch out there. And come back to shape, come back to shape, come back to shape. Ah, that was a chance which we should not have given up, but I think he was offside. The player was offside anyway, but I'm sorry, why am I writing 1-1 here? I don't know. Apologies, guys. The scorecard is actually not working, so we'll sort it out afterwards. The scorecard is actually not working. So I'll just sort it out in the half time break. That's a good ball. That's a good ball from deep by Nathan Ake. And the second ball, Kevin De Bruyne is almost there for the second ball. Enrico Lewis, Rodri to Phil Foden. Rodri. Rodri is just floating around the pitch almost. That is wonderful from Rodri there. Nathan Ake. Just imagine Rodri and Paqueta playing in that midfield too. That would just be outrageous. That would just be exciting as hell. Nathan Ake there. Nathan Ake looks extremely fit. I'll do one thing. I'll just remove the scorecard for today because just think there's some problem with the scorecard. Actually, do that. I'll just remove the scorecard. So yeah, the ball come. Erling Haaland does extremely well there. That's a foul. That's a foul on Erling Haaland. That's a big foul on Erling Haaland. Again, guys, the scorecard's not working. So apologies for that. I'll try to sort out the problem. The scorecard's just not working. That's a foul on Erling Haaland. Vinay, Vinay says Haaland never gonna stop. Ah, Vinay, that was almost two. That was almost two. That was almost two. That's almost close to two. That's almost close to two. Who was he? Who was he? That's almost close to two. Probably offside. Yeah, probably he was offside anyway. I think it was Rodri, but Rodri was probably offside over there. Yeah, it was Rodri, and Rodri was offside over there anyway. Good stop by James Trafford, our very own lad. We need to score the second goal, guys, again. Burnley are playing a bit too freely for well held by Ederson, good handling by Ederson there. I was a bit confused, but I mean, I was a bit fearful there, but that's very good handling by Ederson to be fair. Nathan Ake does well. Nathan Ake does well to force him wide, and City have to be careful here defensively. I know we have two of our best centre backs out, Diaz and Stones, but still. Gautam says, I've seen on Twitter on City Extra pages source secret scout with Fabrizio confirming talks with the player in advanced stage. And Gautam, the talk is that the club wants around 43 to 50 million euros. So that will be interesting. By the way, what do you guys think about Lucas Paqueta? I mean, because news is that West Ham want 105 million uh, euros, that is around 95 million pounds, I think, for Paqueta, and City are bidding around 85 million pounds. So, do you think it's worth to pay that much for Paqueta? What is Rico Lewis doing? That's a foul. Well done, Rico Lewis. Well done. What do you guys think about Lucas Paqueta? I think someone has thrown an object on Rico Lewis over there. And all of this time will be added on. All of this time will be added on. Each and every minute will be added on. It's not a good thing when you're in the lead, and it's not a bad thing when you are chasing the game. So I think it's down this left hand side that City are actually struggling a bit down. I mean, down their right hand side, down our left hand side. I think this is happening. Polioso is actually trying to get into Natanaki on the outside. Burnley second striker is going to get in on the inside. So it's Foden's not actually tracking back that much. So it's almost becoming a so it's almost so this space is almost becoming a concern for City. This area here, so we have to be careful. These two players are playing are outnumbering Natanake 2v1. Vinay says, think Palmer is going to West Ham and Doku near. What do you think about Lucas Paqueta, Vinay? City are ready to spend 105 million for Lucas Paqueta. News is that Pep Guardiola has personally called Lucas Paqueta and personal terms are also agreed. I mean, I wonder if I actually wonder 105 million pounds for Lucas Paqueta. Could you get a Florian Wirtz for that? I know we had a debate the other day on the channel, but what has happened to KDB here? What has happened to KDB here? Oh, KDB is Gautam just I think 90 plus Palmer should be good for Lucas. I hope so. I hope so, Gautam. Excited. I mean, the way Lucas Paqueta plays, guys, the way Lucas Paqueta plays, it almost reminds me of Zinedine Zidane in his heyday. Reclaim Zinedine Zidane. Almost those ilk of a players, so comfortable on the ball, so comfortable doing those skills uh, without losing the ball. The touch, the comfort of the touch in tight spaces, the intelligence with which he does his skills in tight spaces. And the thing with Lucas Paqueta is, I mean, people are wondering how do you replace the goals of Ika Gundogan? Lucas Paqueta is the answer. And not just the goals with Lucas Paqueta, I also think you get more assists. And Lucas Paqueta is said to be one of the best players in the world in terms of threading the ball through balls. And he has the Brazilian flair. And could it be the second coming of someone like a Fernandinho in a different kind of a role? Lucas Paqueta, I don't know, but it's interesting. I mean, and another thing is defensively he's very very good. Lucas Paqueta. They call Lucas Paqueta or they call Lucas Paqueta as a speed demon. Vinay says always sad seeing KDB go off the pitch, and KDB was just in exceptional form, right? The I mean the balls he put in. I think Erling Haaland also had another chance. The the ball De Bruyne put in apart from that goal. De Bruyne was just fantastic. His movement today on the pitch, he was looking sharp and all. It's sad that is going off. I think with Kevin De Bruyne, I think what is 32 now, and we sort of I know it's sad. He's been a superb player for all of us. We fans like him, but I think with Kevin De Bruyne we need to understand 32 and what happened to David Silva when he was slowly dipping in his 30s. Okay, other issues, but I think that is what we need to do with Kevin De Bruyne now. Manage his games, play him in the big games, uh, allow him to choose the games, and we need to manage Kevin De Bruyne more and more. I think that is why Pep Guardiola is so keen on Lucas Paqueta, to be fair. He wants Lucas Paqueta 100, because he knows this season could be the season where Kevin De Bruyne might sadly start to go off a bit because what is already 32 could be turning 33 next year. So I think that's why we are after Lucas Paqueta more and more. And also people asking me why not Florian Wirtz. Florian Wirtz can only play in the attacking positions in the front, which is central attacking midfield and also the also on the right hand side. But with Kevin De Bruyne, he can play central midfield, he can play attacking midfield, he can play across multiple positions even in that midfield area. Can play left, he can play right. I don't think with Florian Wirtz he has that physicality and stuff to play in those midfield positions as a Lucas Paqueta. City are pressing well, but Burnley are playing through the press. Rodri does well. Rodri does extremely well. Now Kovacic has come on. It's interesting how City's play will be now that Kovacic has come on. Let us actually take De Bruyne out here and put in Kovacic. Sad to see, but I mean this will be interesting. I mean this might be this now with Kovacic in there. Maybe Kovacic could be a holding one with Rico Lewis, and you could have Rodrigo in more, and maybe Alvarez occupying these sort of positions that Kevin De Bruyne was occupying, and Rodri occupying that attacking midfield position, and Alvarez almost playing behind Haaland. And with Kovacic, I think with Kovacic as well, you could expect to do this. I think with Kovacic, you could expect balls like these, with Julian Alvarez making this run, and maybe a Erling Haaland or a Kovacic could also play balls like these for Erling Haaland. So it will be interesting to see how Kovacic plays in this role. Julian Alvarez there. Phil Foden's actually playing. I think this will be the ball. Sorry, this will be the ball. I think which this will be the ball. I think which Pep would want Kovacic to play. He would want to let him play the ball here, and the midfield will again be interesting here. This phase will, as always, be exciting. I think this is where games will be won and lost. To be fair, Nathan Ake, Rodri. My only concern is Rico Lewis at left back. That is almost a wonderful skill by Rico Lewis, but Burnley get the throw in. 26 minutes have passed by in this opener, so tactically, I think Pep has got it spot on. I know we scored a goal of the set piece, but Pep has got it spot on tactically. That is wonderful interception from Rodri. Burnley's press is on now. Burnley's press is on. I mean, this is actually exciting because this is what is happening here. This is what is happening here. Foden's actually playing on the inside. Alvarez is also playing on the inside with Haaland up top. Alvarez is also playing on the inside with Bernardo Silva out wide, and then Rico Lewis and Kovacic here. So it's literally we are playing with a narrow front three, which is interesting, which is very interesting. Manuel Akanji, Burnley's press is good. We need to score the second, guys, just to relax. We need to score the second. Erling Haaland starting off this Premier League season with a hat trick. That would just be fantastic. A bad pass from Rodri, bad pass from Rodri. That was almost a curler, and we have been found out defensively here. That was a bad pass from Rodri there. But everything's forgiven if it's Rodri, to be fair. That's a bad pass from Rodri. It wasn't far away from goal. It wasn't far away from goal. And right, I said it has been our left hand side here. It has been our left hand side which has been sort of the weak link. Again, mad pass. This is a very good tackle there. That's a very good tackle. But again, stupid pass. What are we doing? Calm, guys. Calm down, guys, calm down. What the hell are we doing? We're just panicking here. We are bloody treble winners. We are bloody European champions, and calm down, guys, calm down. Edison does well. Decision making is good. Edison's handling and decision making has been spot on in this match. But calm down, guys. What were we doing there? Rico Lewis, ball being pinched off. Rico Lewis. That's a foul, and City get the free kick. I think this is another reason why Pep wants Lucas Paqueta. I mean, nothing to go on Rico Lewis and stuff there, but Burnley were just pressing so high. Edison, Manuel Akanji, Edison, great ball from Edison to Erling. Haaland almost pinched it, but James Trafford will get to the ball first. City are just not able to keep possession. I mean, I don't know why we don't hold the ball in advanced areas and why we don't keep the possession. I mean, as soon as the ball is coming in these areas, Burnley are just initiating that press. Burnley strikers are also coming, so it's almost a 4v3. It's becoming a 4v3 here. And then in the midfield, and Burnley are just initiating that press. Tactically, I mean, Vincent Kompany is actually putting a thing on pulling a thing on Pep here tactically. Rodri, Manuel Akanji, Nathan Ake, Bernardo Silva. I think they have actually switched now because early on Foden was playing on the left and Bernardo was playing on the right. So it's usual for wingers to switch. Phil Foden, Bernardo Silva, Nathan Ake, Bernardo Silva again. Nathan Ake, we just need to be patient, guys. Patience is the key. Bernardo Silva, Nathan Ake. Good ball there. He spread it wide. Kyle Walker. Nathan Ake. City are now putting the pressure on Burnley. This is classic City. This is City at their absolute best. Nathan Ake. No options for Ake. He goes back to Mateo Kovacic. Bernardo Silva. Phil Foden playing centrally now. Kyle Walker's playing as a right winger actually. Nathan Ake. Rico Lewis. Rico Lewis does well. Rodri. City are surging with precision there. Kyle Walker first to the ball. Manuel Akanji on the ball. City are surging like a radar finder just to find that precise moment to release the missile. That's what City are doing here. Good throw in there. Phil Foden. Foden does well. Rodri. Bernardo Silva. Foden does extremely well there. Kyle Walker. That was a sublime piece of play there on a right hand side. Look at that. Mateo Kovacic, Phil Foden. Look at the skill. Look at the skill, guys, of Phil Foden. Okay, he couldn't control it, but look at the skill of Phil Foden there. That is outrageous. Can you show me another 23-year-old in the world right now who can do that sort of a skill? That is just an outrageous piece of skill. Bernardo Silva, Julian Alvarez. That ball almost found Phil Foden over there, but Kyle Walker. Walker does well to recycle possession. City are now just putting the pressure on Burnley. Rodri, Mateo Kovacic, Phil Foden, Rodri. Wonderful piece of skill there, Rodri, and that is wonderful. Kyle Walker searches into the box. What a goal! Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else, guys? Who else? Our Norwegian maestro, Erling Haaland, the Viking, Haaland, Erling Haaland. Wow! Who else, guys? Who else? Goal! Woo! I actually have to sort out these things. I actually have to sort out the scoreboard thing. Actually, I mean, but what a goal that is! Goal from distance. But the build-up play was excellent. Kyle Walker was obviously on side there. I think one of his centre backs was playing it on. Walker pulls it back. Julian Alvarez does extremely well there. Julian Alvarez does extremely well there. Because the positioning of Julian Alvarez is very interesting. If you can just look it up on the tactical board, I think if you can actually erase these things, I think this is where Haaland was, and this is where Julian Alvarez was. Just I'm sorry. This is where Haaland was, and this is where Julian Alvarez was, and this is where Haaland scored the goal from almost from the edge of the box. And we look at the positioning of Julian Alvarez here, which is very interesting, which is absolutely interesting. I mean, this is almost like who used to occupy this kind of a position. It would be Thomas Muller. Thomas Muller always used to occupy this kind of a position to play in the striker. He was always there. So this is wonderful from Julian Alvarez there. That positioning was just superb. Gautam says the community shield curse is real. I hope Arsenal fans feel that blow even more. Defending is concerning me, guys. Here, the defending is concerning me. There's absolutely no composure in our defending. I know we are still holding it strong. I know still it's a clean sheet, but the defending is actually concerning me. To be fair, defend the set piece well. That is wonderful defending of the set piece. We were the best team set piece wise in the whole world. And this is a counter. City are on a counter here. City are. Rico, release the ball. Rico! Rico, release the ball. For how long will you hold the ball, Rico? Rico had a chance to play Phil Foden in there. Rico, on a counter you release it, mate. On a counter you release Phil Foden, mate. Rico Lewis. Rico, Phil Foden was on his bike. I don't know why Rico Lewis didn't release him. Ah, Phil Foden was on his bike over there. Rico Lewis needed to play that pass. Rico Lewis needed to play that pass to Phil Foden. Now, whatever you might say, I don't know why Rico Lewis didn't play that. That was not even a difficult pass as well. Not at all a difficult pass. We got a free kick, but Foden was on his bike there. Rico Lewis just needed to play that pass. Erling Haaland wants to score a hat trick before the break, I think. That's well defended by Burnley. Mateo Kovacic does well, but it's already given as a free kick. Rico Lewis, guys. Rico Lewis over there. He should have played in Phil Foden. What wasn't a difficult pass as well. Just, I mean, the only excuse is he probably didn't see him. But other than that, Rico Lewis had the pace. He's one of the fastest. Needed to play in Phil Foden. I don't know what he was thinking. At least try. If it goes wrong, it goes wrong. Rodri does extremely well. Ederson doesn't even want to catch hold of the ball. Again, very well done. Rico Lewis, very well done. Gautam says missing Ruben should bring Guardiola in. Really want him to play a few minutes today. Gautam, just imagine Gautam, Josko Guardiola playing in that Rico Lewis role, because essentially Rico Lewis is playing left back, right? So Josko Guardiola coming into the midfield. Josko Guardiola is one of the best players in breaking the lines and playing through balls. Josko Guardiola has pace and he can He can break the lines better than most people. I think he's better at breaking the lines than even John Stones. I mean, it's if you see the connection between the players we are bringing in, people are saying, why did City bring in Kovacic? Will he bring in the goals of Gundogan? We are not looking at a Gundogan kind of a player here. We're looking at a kind of a player who who can break the lines for your Erling Haaland and Julian Alvarez to run into. So you can see the connection. Kovacic is one of the best players to break the lines in the world. Josko Guardiola is one of the best players who can break the lines in the world. Lucas Paqueta is a master at breaking the lines uh, in breaking the lines. I mean, before Paqueta came to West Ham, I know we were linked with him, I think 2 seasons ago. He had more chance creation rate than Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne was second that season when Paqueta was at Lyon, and Paqueta was number one in terms of chance creation for strikers. He had a very high xG of assists, chance creation. So I think you can look at the combination you can look at the quality of players we are trying to bring in. Vinay says Haaland can't help him from scoring. Erling Haaland already two. And in that community shield, what were the Arsenal fans saying? Erling Haaland. I think Erling Haaland didn't care a shit about Community Shield. I think Erling Haaland is that player who is like, why should I spend my energy in for like a plate? I have infinite number of plates in my house. I don't care about a plate. I only care about real trophies. Take my entire salary as a charity for that game. I don't score charity goals. I don't score charity goals. Take my salary in charity. Charity cups are for teams like Arsenal who cannot win the real things. What a ball that is, but it just went wrong. So, like I said, charity shields are for teams like Arsenal who can't win the real things. Press, Erling, press. Now Julian Alvarez is playing on the left. Guys, there is I might as well take this tactical screen away. There's no structure to the way we are playing, and it's in a good way. Just a moment ago, I saw Foden centrally. Now Foden is playing on the right. Earlier, I saw him play on the left. Now Bernardo is going on to the right. Now I'm finding Alvarez on the left. Oh, you and Malilo. We thought Pep Guardiola was only the mad person in Manchester. Now there are two mad people, and both are in the blue side of Manchester. Oh, that was a misplaced pass. Pep will not be happy with that. Wonderful reading of the game by Manuel Akanji. See, one thing about Manuel Akanji is his intelligence. It's just superb the way Manuel Akanji, he reads the game. I mean, it's one thing reading the game, and it's another thing trusting your sense of reading the game. Manuel Akanji trusts his sense of reading the game. He doesn't care if it goes wrong or right, and most often is right. Vinay says Pep was right to demand Paqueta. We were all expecting KDB to play less. I mean, a lot of people, Vinay, a lot of people, even some of our fans, a lot of people in the media section, everyone are telling that why don't City go for Florian Wirtz? Why don't City go for another player? Why do City want Paqueta? I think Paqueta is a better signing, will be a better signing than Declan Rice. I have no doubt about it. I think Paqueta would be the signing of the summer if City pull it off. What a long ball that is. Phil Foden's almost on to that. And I think Foden reaches that. Foden does extremely well to reach that and keep it in. Paqueta will be the signing of the summer ahead of the entire Europe, ahead of any other signing, I would say. People haven't seen the real Lucas Paqueta. His flair, his finesse. Who was the last Brazilian we had? Fernandinho was playing in DM sort of positions. Who was the last Brazilian attacker we have had? I don't know. Robinho? After Robinho in 2011-12, did we have any other Brazilian attacker? I don't think so, right? We have never had a Brazilian attacker apart from uh, Robinho, and Robinho didn't click at City that well. Rodri, I think we're just trying to kill off the half. Rodri, I think if he can score one goal, it will be very interesting. That would help us to kill off the half even more. I mean, kill off the game. We can just enjoy chatting about other things, seeing Josko Guardiola play in the second half. One more goal, and I think we can chill. have some banter in the second half. Rico Lewis, sorry, Nathan Ake on the ball. Ah, Gabriel, sorry Gautam, it just went out of my mind. Gabriel is right. Gabriel Jesus was there. That is true. Gabriel. I mean, Gabriel Jesus never. He was there, but Gabriel Jesus never gave you an impression that he was actually a Brazilian, because with Brazilian players, you sort of expect that, the flair with which they play football. Ronaldinho's, even Robinho kind of had that flair. Your Ronaldinho's, I mean, Kaka maybe didn't have it, but uh, is it another goal? They're appealing for a penalty. Phil Foden wants a penalty here. Let us see in the replay. Let us see in the replay. Was it an offside first? I don't think it's an offside. It's level. It's not an offside. It's a penalty. It's a penalty. I think it's a penalty. Haaland, no, it's not. It's not. I thought it's a penalty. I don't know. I don't know. But then see, you look at the Brazilian players, like even the old players like Adriano, Ronaldo Jr., even your Cafus and lot of them, even Robinho's, even Lucas Paqueta, Neymar. The common thing is that flair, that Brazilian flair, those sort of a thing. Gabriel Jesus didn't have that. Gabriel Jesus was, and his finishing was also not Vinicius Junior. They have that flair, when they have the ball, they can do something. I think Gabriel Jesus was sort of that. You almost thought that Gabriel Jesus was a cultured player from one of the academies. You never thought that he was a raw player from the streets of Brazil, though he was, and he worked very hard. But you never got that feeling with Gabriel Jesus. Brazilian sort of a flair and that rash arrogance, which you associate with Brazilian players. I never thought about that Gabriel Jesus. He almost had too much of a discipline there. A little bit too much for the liking of our fans. Vinay says, I was thinking more about KDB replacement. Didn't even think of Paqueta. No one thought of Paqueta. Vinay, no one thought of Paqueta. Paqueta was a name Fabrizio never mentioned, right? He just mentioned that City were in for wingers. That was a very good press from City. He just mentioned City were in for wingers. The list was Doku, Florian Wirtz, Michael Olise was there, and Koro Mitoma was there, I think. Four players on the list. So there was, and we all were also thinking, right? Florian Wirtz is the long-term replacement of Kevin De Bruyne. I mean, on this channel also we were discussing who a lot of times were discussed in the previous years who could replace Kevin De Bruyne, and every time we I think came to Florian Wirtz as one of the solutions if it was not internally within the club. Julian Alvarez. Don't know what happened there. Vincent Kompany was actually appealing for a penalty. I think, Vinay, I think no one thought of Paqueta because he kind of had a shitty season at West Ham. I know towards the end he raked up those numbers. He was instrumental in them winning the Conference League, whatever. But almost most of the season he was kind of having a shitty season. And with Arsenal spending 100 million for Declan Rice, everyone's attention went there. So I think no one was kind of focusing on Lucas Paqueta, but I think that is the essence of, but that is a wonderful ball, almost. Phil Foden didn't get there. Phil Foden didn't get there at all. But good run there from Foden. I think Foden's just been given a free roll here. Gotham just really don't like this rule of extra time. It means that you almost, in terms of if you think there are 10 matches, 10 minutes added on an average at the end, you're almost like for every 9 games, you've almost played a game extra. So in a season, I think you would be having 3, 4 games extra. But I think your bench will be tested even more. with this rule of extra time? I think it depends. I think it depends. Like if you're losing 1-0 and some people like Newcastle are wasting time, then I think we would be in favor of extra time. Haaland's telling something to Bernardo over there. I think he wanted a ball up top. So I think it depends on which end of spectrum you're. But you're right. On an average, uh, I think adding this much of extra time is not fair. But then when you see teams like what teams like Newcastle did last time, it seems that for Newcastle, on an average, 45 to 50 minutes on every match which Newcastle played, on an average, it was almost like Pep Guardiola is having to say something to Erling Haaland. He's not happy with Erling Haaland. He's just telling something to Erling Haaland over there. and Haaland scored 2 goals. The way Pep speaking with Haaland, you almost would think we are losing 2-0. Vinicius feel like Ortega pace on ball too much when passing in middle, which is the danger zone. You mean Stefan Ortega, Vinay? You mean Stefan Ortega in the Community Shield? Vinicius Haaland demanded ball Pep fumed. There's actually this story when I of Phil Foden. I think it was 2 3 years ago. 2 years ago, I think, but it's just come out recently in an article, and it was 2 3 years ago when Foden was just coming out. They were telling that Pep Guardiola Foden took a free kick and Pep Guardiola wasn't happy with the free kick. It seemed, and Pep Guardiola immediately called Foden over and he shouted on Foden. And the article says that Pep told to Foden, that is not how you take a free kick. I'm very disappointed with you. That is not what we practiced in training. Pep was just shouting on Foden. And then they go off into the dressing room. It seems that Foden was angry and he rushes into the dressing room before anybody else. And then Pep comes into the dressing room. And then Foden shouts on Pep. Foden tells Pep, do not speak to me like that again. Do not speak to me like that. I know what I'm doing. Trust me. Do not behave with me like that. You don't do that to other players. And what would you expect? You would expect that Pep will send Foden away on loan or something, right? Pep said afterwards, I think Pep said afterwards in an interview or something, that was the day I knew that Foden had arrived. That was the day I knew when Foden shouted on me. That was the day I knew that Foden became a man from a boy. Because I wanted Phil Foden to stand up. I wanted Phil Foden to come and stand up for things. If he didn't know, if do wrong, come and shout at the other authority. Come and shout at me. If he doesn't stand up, he'll never grow. He will never develop those leadership qualities. So I think, opposition fans, the media, they pick it up too much that Pep and players are fighting. There's a tussle between Pep and players, and this player is gonna leave. But what they don't realize is Pep loves players shouting on him because in a good way, because it helps to keep that relationship better. See, with whom do you have most of your arguments? You don't have most of your arguments with someone random on the road, right? You have most of your arguments genuinely with people who you have a good relationship, be it your brother or siblings or friends or whatever. Where there's mutual love between people, that is where arguments happen, and that is why Pep Guardiola is a great manager. More, this incident told me about Pep Guardiola that it's more about man management. Everything else, tactics are fine, but man management and things. I was like stunned after reading this piece of what Pep Guardiola did. Baya, this is no understanding at the back. Lucky we didn't concede any. I think Bayaji, this back three has never played together. Rico Lewis, this back four, Rico Lewis, Manuel Akanji, Kyle Walker, and Nathan Ake. When have these four played together? They would always be John Stones or Ruben Diaz there. And when you put Manuel Akanji in the middle, Manuel Akanji is someone who's always like, I will take a risk. So Manuel Akanji was always pouncing in front of the striker. So this, yeah, lucky we didn't concede one goal, but I also think we could have scored at least one or two more. Rico Lewis playing the ball on the counter was something. Rico Lewis didn't play that ball on the counter. I was disappointed, but But if we actually look on the tactical screen, I was actually impressed by this thing, this pass which Alvarez gave to Haaland, and Haaland scored the goal. And the positions of Foden is actually interesting. Foden, I know I've actually kept him here, but the position of Foden is almost like it's everywhere. Foden is just moving everywhere. Foden's sometimes playing as a second striker. Alvarez is dropping here. Foden's almost playing here. Haaland's going here. Foden's playing here as a second striker. Bernardo's playing a bit more deeper to get on the ball. Alvarez is almost playing a bit more deeper. Foden and Haaland. I think this is what we predominantly saw towards the end, the last 15 minutes at least. I think Haaland and Foden actually Haaland and Foden actually running at the defense, and then Rodri and Kovacic and Rico is sort of floating in the midfield with Alvarez and Bernardo as well. Interesting tactics, again, interesting tactics. I think the fact that Rodri was playing high as well, Rico Lewis was there. I mean, we have to remember one thing. I think the problem why our defense got exposed by Aji is that Rico Lewis is not a normal centre back, right? I mean, you just put in John Stones here. John Stones can do this. If you want, John Stones can do this, and Natanake can tuck in. So there were actually a lot of options, and John Stones is defensively very secure on the ball. With Rico Lewis, it's almost like, you know what Burnley have done? Burnley have actually isolated Rico Lewis almost like, if I just take these people out for a minute, Burnley have allowed Rico Lewis to get on the ball, and then Burnley have actually done this to Rico Lewis. Burnley have actually done this to Rico Lewis. They've pressed Rico Lewis around. I mean, it's almost, he was almost, whenever Rico Lewis got the ball, almost four Burnley players, both their strikers and both their central midfielders, are almost onto Rico Lewis at that moment. So Rico Lewis is finding it tough, I think, to even retain the ball as much. We know he's good on the ball, but Rico Lewis is actually finding it tougher to retain the ball. So that's something which I noticed here with Rico Lewis. Kovacic has not been as influential in this half, at least. There have been a lot of options to play those through balls and stuff, but Kovacic has not at all been influential. And did you guys notice one thing? And Erling Haaland first half, 9 touches, 2 goals, and 3 attempts, and two goals and 2 shots on target. Wow, what a striker this is! I think Pep wants him to get four. I think Pep wants him to get four. That's why. Just look at the argument between Pep and Erling Haaland. I think they're showing what went wrong here. I think Bernardo Silva had the ball there from deep, and Erling Haaland wanted a through ball to be played because Erling Haaland was almost through over there, and Bernardo Silva didn't play it. I think that was actually the problem. Now let us actually correct the. Let us actually correct the scorecard. I don't know what is wrong with our scorecard today. I update the score of one, and the score of the others is also getting updated. Just try to correct it, but it just seems so, this thing to see both. Yeah, I'll do this. I think this is much better now. Yeah, and another thing, guys, another thing is we have not seen balls like this today at all. We have not seen balls like this. We have not seen balls out wide. We have not seen Pep playing wingers out wide. There's no one who's gone out wide, right? Who's gone out wide and who's tried to do one on one. There's no one who did this, right? These balls were absent today. These balls were completely absent. Wing play was completely absent today. The entire play today was these sort of a things which would actually happen, right? The last time, which you would have Jack Grealish somewhat in these sort of a positions, and then Jack Grealish would receive the ball, and then Jack Grealish would try to go 1v1 or hold people up over here. These things never happened. The things that happened were only these things. The things that happened were these things. This is what was happening. Kovacic trying to play Haaland through. Even when Rodri attempting those balls, when Gundogan, Rodri attempting and trying to play Haaland through, when Manuel Akanji trying to do this ball, Manuel Akanji trying to play this ball out wide. So this is actually interesting for me. So I mean, the entire play today was concentrated only around this sort of central area. This is the area where the entire play was focused on. This is the area where the entire play was focused on. Pep did not want any attacks to start outside this area. It almost seemed that Pep Guardiola is playing with no wingers. Bayaji says, I hope this doesn't become final score. No, it won't become Bayaji. No, it won't become. I'm confident. I think Josko Guardiola will be coming soon. Josko Guardiola will be coming soon. Josko Guardiola will be substituted soon. Football Tricks is here. He says, Paqueta needed now or very soon. I mean, the one reason, I mean, if you forget that Lucas Paqueta is needed to replace Kevin De Bruyne, another reason why Lucas Paqueta is needed is this is the reason, the way we are playing centrally here, the way we are trying to bring Erling Haaland and Phil Foden. Look at Phil Foden playing so centrally. Look at even Julian Alvarez. This is what Julian Alvarez is doing more and more. Is trying to cut in, is trying to occupy this position going on this side, or is trying to occupy this position. His final attempts are always to end up inside the box. Bernardo is not doing quite that. I don't know what his instructions are, but the three strikers, Haaland, Alvarez, and Foden, if you see their movements, the three of them are moving closely, and it almost seems that two strikers are playing inside Erling beside Erling Haaland. And even we even saw this Haaland here, Foden here, Alvarez here, and then I think this is what happened for the goal. I think Foden was somewhere here. Erling Haaland was here. Foden was somewhere here. Alvarez was here. Kyle Walker played as a winger. Kyle Walker gives the back, chops the ball back to Alvarez. Alvarez then lays it off to Foden. Foden scores a goal. So, so I mean, in this scenario for the second goal, if you see, no winger, zero winger. Kyle Walker, the only fullback. I won't even call him a fullback because we have long moved away from the fullback system, right? It's almost a central defender coming from the fullback position and giving that assist to Erling Haaland, to Alvarez to Haaland goal. So, I mean, is this a system which we are playing without wingers? Bayaji says Kova showed how to play a long ball to Haaland, but Foden messed it up in a big way. We are going to get it right, Bayaji. I think we are going to get it right. I think throughout the last season, we were so conservative in terms of the fact that we always wanted to play Rodri to Jack Grealish to maybe Kevin De Bruyne to Haaland, Haaland goal. I mean, to reach Erling Haaland, there would be at least 5 to 6 passes, and the way was from the wings. Never did we attempt those through passes, never ever. And this match, I think we attempted 10 through balls to Erling Haaland in this half alone. We attempted more through balls to Erling Haaland in this half than we attempted it in the entire season. And now Kovacic is a master of those through balls. Football Grid says, why does Akanji go back to Dortmund every match? I actually think Football Grid, it's it he is that sort of a player. He is almost who I would call a defender who plays on his instincts. Akanji is so intelligent positionally that he almost reads the game well 95% of the time. He knows which position to be, where to occupy the striker. Should he be behind the striker, ahead of the striker? Does he have the chance to nick the ball and stuff? Not many centre backs have that courage to do that. So when you show that courage to nick the ball of the striker, there are 5% of the times, which for me is a very good win rate. 5% of the times at least I think you make a mistake. And I think when Akanji makes a mistake, he's a centre back, it just shows up more, I think. Because if not for Akanji, we probably would not have won that final against Inter Milan. Not defensively, but offensively. He nicks the ball and he gets it forward, and then John Stones, Bernardo Silva, Rodri, whatever, the thing happens. But if you look at that entire goal, I think Akanji played a major part in constructing that attack. He plays that through ball for John Stones to go on and attack Akanji. And Akanji, by the way, when Akanji was at 19, he was rated as high as what Josko Guardiola is now. He was the next big thing in sort of the centre backs back then when he was 19, which is around 8 years back, I think so. I think the positions are very. I'm actually fascinated by the positions that we are actually uh, taking up the tactics and stuff. It's fascinating. Defensively, it's a bit unstable, but offensively, it's actually very good. Football coaches is Cancelo staying or what? No news of him leaving. I think Cancelo is going to Barcelona. Football freaks. Cancelo will go to Barcelona. I don't think there's a place for Cancelo in this system. Phil Foden picks the ball up. Rodri. Football coaches imagine Haaland scores all the goals today. 4 goals. 4 or 5. That would just be insane. That would just be insane. Burnley on the attack here. Burnley on nothing again, nothing 1v1, nothing 1v1. The last thing you would want is not us to concede an early goal in this at the start of this half. I think we score one more goal and then we are actually relaxed. I think we score one more goal and I think we can just be much more relaxed and enjoy this opening day of City. Manuel Akanji, wonderful, well done by Matteo Kovacic there. Otherwise, we were in trouble. Kyle Walker, football tricks, like you said, Akanji already went to Dortmund. There, he almost went to Dortmund. Kovacic flew from Madrid in the nick of time and saved him. Football tricks is, by the way, Paketa and Doku deal almost done. Are you sure? Are you sure, football tricks? I would just jump up with joy if Paketa deal is actually done. Erling press. James Stafford is, by the way, very good with the ball. He's our academy product. Nathanake does very well. Excellent covering. That is wonderful defending by Nathanake. This is 1v1 defending at its absolute best. Nathanake. What a piece of defending by Nathanake. City get the ball back. Mateo Kovacic. Rodri. I think Foden loses the ball over there. They're pressing 3, 4 people on Foden, just like I showed how they're trapping Rico Lewis in the small box, and then 4 people are going in on Rico Lewis. It's the same thing that's happening to Phil Foden. I think it's only Kovacic who's actually able to restrain that sort of a press. Football Trick says yes, everything is done, but just the final amount part is left for Paqueta. The final amount part is the one that is difficult, right? Football Greeks 105. They're asking for 95 million pounds, 105 million euros, which is actually, I think it could be a British transfer record. I mean, I know Chelsea could pay 110 for Casido, but at least now that is well done. Rodri gets the ball and Kyle Walker on the ball. Rodri Manuela Kenji, Rodri, Nathan Ake. Rico Lewis has made that one. Ah, Ake should have played it on earlier. See, those were the balls why Josko Guardiola was bought for. Kyle Walker there, using his pace, using his experience, using his guile, using his leadership. He's the captain right now of the club. I'm very happy that Kyle Walker's staying actually. I mean, they say that not just on the pitch but off the pitch as well. Kyle Walker is a huge influence at City. His leadership qualities and all of those things. I mean, it takes someone of a great character to go against Vinicius Junior 1v1, right? For two legs, not just one leg, and just beat him to every ball, win over every situation from him. They're just trying to play those through balls, thread those through balls like we are seeing on the tactical board. They're just trying to thread those through balls into Erling Haaland. It's just not working out as much, but glad that we are not getting caught on the counter. Kyle Walker again. Walker beaten, and Walker does. Nathan Ake does extremely well there. This is a chance. This is a chance. And Erling Haaland. Haaland was almost played in 1v1 over there. Erling Haaland was almost played in 1v1 over there. This is just like one of the more entertaining matches on the opening day. I think this is just fantastic. James Trafford is looking so comfortable on the ball. He's just looking so good on the ball. I think in his spare time, Ederson goes to the academy and gives training to these keepers there. That is a wonderful pinch. I think that is almost, that was an excellent pinch. See, I mean, this is not the kind of game Pep Guardiola would have been comfortable in the past. You know, it's almost a roxy, rolly, topsy-turvy kind of a game with zero control. It's just chaos in there. It's just chaos in there. Absolute chaos. Will Pep Guardiola turn into a coach who embraces chaos from this season? Bringing in Paqueta, bringing in Doku, bringing in Erling Haaland. I don't know. Mateo Kovacic of all people loses the ball over there. Kova! How can you lose the ball? I thought even God couldn't pinch the ball of you. Akanji does well to clear it out. City living on the ropes defensively. We are on the ropes defensively. Like I said, these four people are actually pressing as in this area, I think. And then Vitinho, I think, is making this sort of a run. He's making an out to in run, Vitinho. Vitinho is making this out to in run. What a ball, Erling Haaland's in. And that's a corner for City. I think Vitinho is making this out to and run there. And I think this is actually troubling us a bit because Walker's almost kind of playing a bit higher. And then Manuel Akanji has to keep an eye on the centre back. So when Walker's high, it's almost like Vitinho has a 2v1 here. So Walker's covering back, but it's almost a 2v2, which is never kind of easy. Rico Lewis, Kyle Walker, I think, Bernardo Silva with the ball in. That's another corner, I think, for City. That's another corner for City. Well done, Phil Foden. Phil Foden's looked electric. I know he's messed up a few counters, but he's looked electric. I think we have to be careful of this out to in run again, which Vitinho is making to Walker. And none of these people, like it used to happen earlier, none of these people are coming back and helping out the fullback. So it's almost like Pep is playing a 4-2-4 here. Rodri, I want to see at least one long shot from Rodri, to be fair. Bernardo Silva. City are putting in cross after cross into the box. This is not the Pep style that we know. Cross after cross into the box, playing aerial through balls, no passing, no tiki taka, and nothing. Edison now. What a ball from Edison. Wow, what a ball! Almost Haaland just couldn't get it in control there, but what a ball that was from Edison. What a ball that was from Edison. Now you suddenly have so many people who can play through balls. Rodri with a straight mark shot, and it's another corner for City. Rodri with a straight mark long shot. What? How many pieces are we having now to hurt opponents? I mean, Rodri since last season, whenever Rodri is hitting a long shot, it mostly, at least, it is testing the goalkeeper. It never goes over the bar. It almost never goes over the bar. It almost tests the goalkeeper more often than not. Julian Alvarez, good header, but keeper had it because the ball again. Rodri offensively is just being so good. Rodri, I think Rodri you can expect 6 to 7 goals from Rodri in the Premier League itself this season. At least even if he scores 3 4 goals, I think that could cover up a bit of Gundo's goals. But with if Lucas Paqueta comes, I think we don't need to worry about Gundo's goals as much. But that through ball from Haaland, from Ederson to Haaland was just Kyle Walker using his pace, guile, and experience again. See, this is what I was telling you about. Kyle Walker always, more often than not, is behind Vitinho, and Vitinho is trying to make this run. I think Bayer is trying to play this ball. I think Bayer is trying to play this ball actually. Bayer is trying to play this ball, and I think Kovacic is actually, I don't know the position of Kovacic. They're almost floating everywhere, so it's very difficult to mark and put him in a position. But this is the ball we need to be very careful about. This is another area which we kind of, it looks like we're struggling a bit, especially with this ball over the top. Gautam says Kyle is 23, right? He's 18, Gautam is 18. Kyle is 18. He's not 23. He's 18. Kyle is 18, but that's a very good one, Gautam. That's an absolutely good one. I think Pep Guardiola said in a press conference last year that Kyle Walker, even in his 40s, would easily outpace wingers in their 20s, wingers in their prime. That's how good Kyle Walker is. Mateo Kovacic, Rodri, Manuel Akanji through ball again. Phil Foden. They're putting pressure on Foden there. Mateo Kovacic, Manuel Akanji, Phil Foden, Julian Alvarez, Rico Lewis is playing on the wing. Pep has just forgot to play with wingers. There are no wingers in this team right now. Pep has, this could be another tactical innovation. Pep had done away with fullbacks last season. He's now done away with wingers now. This could almost be like a dream for Pep, right? Just midfielders playing everywhere. Of course, except Erling Haaland. Kovacic, Manuel Akanji, Nathan Ake. Ake has become so comfortable on the ball. It's superb to see his improvement. He's become so good that Cancelo has to leave. I think Even last year at the starting of the season, even at mid-season, before January, no one would have expected that Ake would be starting and Cancelo would just leave City. Bernardo Silva, Kyle Walker, Edison. The game's just flowing on. I think we need to get the third goal. Away ground, first game. The home fans will be very excited. Promotion, newly promoted side into the Premier League. I think we need to get the third goal. Akanji to Edison. Erling Haaland's got the ball. Haaland's through. Haaland played the wrong pass. Haaland played the wrong pass. He had to play it to the left and not to his right. This is wonderful. Julian Alvarez, Erling Haaland. See here, Erling Haaland and Rico Lewis, who was coming in. I think that would have been difficult for Burnley to defend. Rico Lewis was coming in from that side. I think this is what is happening now. Bernardo is also playing on the inside, and I think Rico Lewis is playing on the wing almost, and Mateo Kovacic and Rodri are the only two players who are playing in the midfield. It's almost becoming like a 4-2-4 to be fair, and Walker's also playing high up to be fair a bit. No, it's almost just two people in the midfield, and then it's almost 4-4 with Alvarez almost playing forward and a bit in the midfield, and Alvarez almost playing alongside Haaland as the second striker somewhere here. Edison with the ball. Burnley get the ball back. Second ball well won there from Natanake, from Rico Lewis actually, and Natanake back to Edison. It's becoming a bit too predictable, I think, now with Edison playing that long ball too often to Haaland. I think we need to mix things up. It's a free kick to Burnley. The good thing is zero yellow cards have been shown, which shows that both the teams have played it in the spirit of the game. Not too many stoppages, not too many complaints. Shows you how much discipline Vincent Kompany has dwelled into Burnley. Nothing. That's a corner for Burnley. That's a corner for Burnley. Well done. We have to be careful here defensively. We have to be careful here defensively. Rico Lewis is actually struggling a bit here defensively, to be fair. Just think once Josko Guardiola comes, most of those problems could be solved. I do not want to concede on the set piece. Someone coolly put it out. I think it must be Rodri. Nathan Ake, Rico Lewis. Backline is looking a bit weak. Eddie. Don't know. It's just chaos here. It's just chaos. This is not a Pep Guardiola team. This is like this is almost like Pep has said to us. Just enjoy it, guys. Just enjoy the night out. That's all. That's how we're playing right now. There's no structure. There's nothing. Everyone's just doing how they like. Just want us to get out of here. Manuela Kenji, Nathan Ake. Not even one chance created in this half for Haaland. I know Haaland had one through ball to go, but nothing else. Burnley haven't created much, to be fair. It's a throw in for City. That's a foul on Nathan Ake. That's a foul on Nathan Ake. That's a clear foul on Nathan Ake. City gets some relief. Vinny, that's a foul. You know Vinny, that's a foul. You just push Nathan Ake. You can't push someone like that. Eddie, City are playing with fire, playing out from the back, but you don't feel that nervous anymore, right? After seeing so much, after winning everything, after winning the treble, you just don't feel nervous seeing City playing out from the back. Good catch by Edison. Edison's handling everything's been exceptional. That's a foul. That's a foul. Who is this Brune Larson? He just made two fouls in the space of 2 minutes. I don't know who is he. Nathan Ake, Rodri, Kovacic, Rico Lewis. Rodri should have hit it much earlier. I don't know. His drive through the midfield was fantastic, but Rodri should have just hit it much earlier. And just wondering, these 1-2s with Lucas Paqueta would just be so exciting. And with Jeremy Doku, just imagine it, it would just be something else. It's a corner for City. City have controlled the game well after that chaos in the last 5 minutes, but still think we need that third goal just to feel secure. Again, because we need the third goal because could be squeaky bum time with Burnley newly promoted team, the crowd behind them and everything else. I think City will retake the corner again. Kind of a shit corner, not as good as some of the ones we have taken today, but Manuel Akanji, Mateo Kovacic, Kyle Walker, almost Erling Haaland thought he almost got his hat trick there, but nothing there. And Edison. We just need to control this game much better. I think there's been no control, and still this is a problem. The balls that I've actually shown, this ball over the top, it's still a problem for us. Erling Haaland does well there to pick up the ball, and it's Rodri, Kyle Walker, Manuel Akanji, Mateo Kovacic, Nathan Ake. Burnley are like pressing extremely well. Mateo Kovacic losing the ball there, but good that it didn't result in a counter attack. Otherwise, it would just have been so bad. I've now not seen Mateo Kovacic lose the ball as much, but then when he has three players pressing him. But one thing is, whenever we have lost the ball, City's defensive shape has been extremely good. It's a throw in for City. Vinay says, where's Foden playing? Left wing, right wing, central. It's a nest. Vinay, where is Rico Lewis playing? He's playing on the left wing. Where is Kyle Walker playing? Right wing almost. Foden's playing behind Haaland. Alvarez playing God knows where. Rodri is sometimes playing as an attacking mid. Formation's gone, Vinay. Formation's gone. It's 3D football that Pep got. This is a wonderful ball. Ah, that would have been Erling Haaland's hat trick. Ah, what a ball that is. Phil Foden breaking the lines and almost a great ball for Erling Haaland. Almost there. Almost a great ball for Erling Haaland. Where is Julian Alvarez playing? It's just an absolute. It's almost like a 3D chess, 3D football that Pep Guardiola is playing. 4D football, where normal mortals like us just cannot understand what formation is. There's no formation here. Formation just not existing here. This is what happens when you add Juan Malilo to Pep Guardiola. The madness goes up in another to another notch. The madness is just incomputable. There's an article I was reading which said that Juan Malilo doesn't believe in formations. He just believes in relationalism in football. Wow, that was a new concept. So relative to the position of the ball, players all around the pitch move. We have seen Pep Guardiola implement it in sort of the way that centre back moves into the midfield based on the position of the ball. But with Juan Malilo, it's almost like all the players on the pitch move with respect to the relation of the ball. Doesn't matter you're playing left back, right back, centre back. This is a new concept. This I feel is taking it to the extreme level, absolute extreme level. Like I've shown on the formation board, when Ricolos is playing on the left high, Walker is playing in between on the right to cover in for Bitinho. I don't know where Bernardo is playing as well. It's just so confusing. I think there'll be bloody 10-15 minutes of added time now at the end of this match. 15 minutes of added time. I won't be surprised if there are at least 10 minutes of added time. And I wouldn't be surprised even if there are 10 minutes of added time that Pep Guardiola will not be making any substitutions. Long ball by Ederson again, and Erling Haaland's almost through there. Erling Haaland's almost through. That's a foul on Erling Haaland, and it's a free kick to City. Two madmen, Pep Guardiola and Ian Malilo, discussing what madness they want to do next. Rodri scores. I mean, I didn't celebrate because I thought there could have been a foul over there, but Rodri scores. Rodri's eyes. I mean, it almost seemed like everything froze over there. The ball was in front of Rodri, and Rodri was like, "Is it real? I only score from outside the box, but is it actually real?" And wow, Rodri just thumped it into the back of the net. That was just a thumping from Rodri into the back of the net. Wow. So Rodri's racked up an assist and a goal today, and my bloody hell, I've kept him as a substitute in my fantasy league team. What the hell did I do? Ooh. And to top all of that, Rodri could rake up some bonus points as well, but I don't mind all that because City are winning. And two goals from set pieces. This is interesting. That's a great ball down the channel, and Natanake is onto that. Wonderful defending by Natanake. Natanake is showing why he's one of the best 1v1 defenders in world football. This is interesting. Aymeric Laporte is coming on. Guys, Aymeric Laporte is coming on. Cole Palmer is coming on. And Josko Guardiola is coming on. Josko Guardiola is coming on, guys. Josko Guardiola is coming on. He already looks like some mafia don from the southern part of Italy. Though he's from Croatia, I know, but he looks like a mafia don. Foden there. Burnley's keeper has to kick it long, and Gautam says, "Look who's coming! It's the dawn! It's the dawn of dawns! Baap ka baap, Guardiol, Bapo ka baap, Sare defenders ka baap, Yasko Guardiol is coming on. Just look at the intense look on the face. That itself is just there's a ball on. There's a ball on. Erling, play Foden in. Ah, sorry, it was Julian Alvarez. That was a trademark shot of Julian Alvarez, but that's fine. That's fine. Pep has just done away with conventional formations in football. He's just playing everyone everywhere. Aymeric Laporte's coming on. That is very interesting. Does that mean that he will not be sold? I don't know. Josko Guardiola is coming on for Rico Lewis. Laporte is coming on from Natanake. And I guess Foden for Cole Palmer. I don't know. He could substitute virtually anyone for Cole Palmer now. Wow. Erling Haaland substituted off for Cole Palmer. But that first Haaland goal was everything to do with KDB. And it's just that Haaland, two attempts, two shots on goal and two goals. That is Erling Haaland at his absolute best. Where is Josko Guardiola bloody playing? Neres Guardiola, that look on his face itself is something else, Vinay. You know, if Real Madrid have Galacticos, it almost seems like we have our Avengers. But Josko Guardiola is playing centrally, and it already seems like he's dictating the play. It's just superb. You can straight away see the leadership qualities from Josko Guardiola. He's playing as a left-sided centre back, but Aymeric Laporte left back. It's interesting. I mean, if you want to sell a player, I don't think Aymeric Laporte leaving the club is a given. Actually, to be fair, because Cancelo is not playing. Why is Cancelo not playing? The only reason is that Pep doesn't want him. But I think with Aymeric Laporte, it's different. I don't think Aymeric Laporte going is a certainty this season. Ah, that's a good header there. That's a good header from Mateo Kovacic, I think. No, it was of the Burnley player, of course. It's 80th minute, and you sort of in the past would feel that the game's almost coming to an end 10 minutes, but it doesn't now because you're pretty much sure that on an average 8 to 10 minutes will be added on. So 80 plus, there are 20 more minutes remaining now. That's a good ball, and just imagine Ashraf Hakimi there on the right hand side in place of Kyle Walker. That would just be something else, right? There's no formation to the way we are playing. Mateo Kovacic, the referee has given the foul in favor of Burnley. Cole Palmer. By the way, why is Palmer on the left side of midfield? I just don't know. Long ball through, and that's good defending. That's absolutely very good defending from Manuel Akanji. I would just love Josko Guardiola. I mean, Erling Haaland's gone, but I would have loved Josko Guardiola to come on when Erling Haaland's there, so that Josko Guardiola could give one of his famed through balls. I want a clean sheet here. It's a goal kick, and Edison. I mean, I know he hasn't had much to do, but given that chaos, Ederson was a calming presence. His handling was superb. He collected the ball well. Ederson was just a superb calming presence to in that entire chaos. Great ball from Ederson again, and I think Foden's through this time. Yes, Foden's through, Foden's through, Foden's through. Cole Palmer takes the ball. I think Foden didn't really have an opportunity to shoot there, but we can recycle. Right now, Rodri is there. Mateo Kovacic, Rodri again. Played it to Kyle Walker. Walks as well. Manuel Akanji, Mateo Kovacic, Rodri. Phil Foden. It's Julian Alvarez actually. Kyle Walker. Guys, does anyone remember that Bernardo Silva is also playing? I haven't seen him for quite a while, to be fair. Cole Palmer's playing on the left. I don't know what Pep Guardiola is doing right now. Don't know at all. Ederson, Manuel Akanji, Cole Palmer on the left, Julian Alvarez tucking in. Phil Foden's received the ball there. There's a through ball on to Julian Alvarez. Can he play the through ball? He's played it to Julian Alvarez. Ah, that was a trademark finish of Julian Alvarez. Just didn't get the power, I think. But this is scintillating football from City. This is exceptional football from City. Wow. What's happened over there? I think someone's fell down. Guys, I don't have the commentary on, so and they'll obviously not show the pictures. So can you tell me what's happened there? The only picture I saw was someone's just fell down. Is it a medical emergency or something? What happened? No, I think nothing serious. Mateo Kovacic been good. He's been very good today. Okay, he's been dispossessed twice or thrice, but that Burnley press, like we've talked about, there are four people pressing one person. The trigger is when one of our midfielders, Kovacic or Rico Lewis, is on the ball. That is going to press him. Josko Guardiola, his first set piece for City. Josko Guardiola in the penalty box. Ah, Foden just couldn't get inside enough, I think. He just should have dribbled the ball a little bit more inside. But still, it's a mystery to me. It's almost 90 minutes and still it's a mystery to me. Where did Bernardo play? Where did Phil Foden play? It's all a big mystery to me. You you somehow have got the feel. I know Haaland's gone now, but when Haaland was there, you almost somehow got the feeling this is how they were playing. Alvarez inside, Bernardo inside, with only Rico Lewis and Kyle Walker on the outside, and Vox was also here. So who is the winger? Who is the fullback here? No one. Absolutely no one. Cole Palmer, I think it's Julian Alvarez. Actually, Julian Alvarez is Phil Foden just tried a feint. This is just through ball after through ball from City. It's almost like Pep Guardiola has told us to practice, practice, and practice the through balls in a live setting. Kyle Walker. There's a through ball on there. There's a through ball on there. Cole, Cole, Cole. There was a through ball on there. I know Palmer didn't give it, but there was a through ball on there. Palmer's now playing centrally. A little while ago, I saw him on the left. Now he's in the central midfield region. He's playing a central midfielder now, Cole Palmer. Pep Guardiola is making positions null and void in football. Nothing called as a DM, CDM, nothing. Ah, bad pass, bad pass, bad pass. Want a clean sheet today, bad pass. Sky walks, Akanji, bad pass. But when you have Rodri and Akanji surrounding you, you just can't do anything if you're an attacker. It's nigh on impossible to do something if you're an attacker in that sort of a scenario. That's good header. When we have generally we defend set pieces very well. We are the best set piece defending team in the entire Europe. Last season we were. Oh, I thought he had nicked it, but he had not nicked it. Thank God, it's not insane. It's just 6 minutes of added time. I've not seen many stoppages or stuff, so I think 6 minutes is fair enough. 6 minutes is fair enough, I think. But thank God, it's just 6 minutes of added time and not much. Pep Guardiola has just taken the concept of structure out of the window. These are some new tactics. It's not bringing your centre back into the middle of the pitch or something. These are completely new tactics now. It's just chaos. It just seems as if even the players are not able to grasp it fully, grasp the idea of these tactics fully. To be fair, that is wonderful pressing. Kyle Walker, the referee thought for a while and then he's given it as a yellow card. I hope the injury is not serious anyway, because Walker was a could have been serious. Wonderful ball there by Cole Palmer. It almost, I mean, with this sort of a formation, it almost seems to you that it almost seems to you that Pep Guardiola looks at this as VAR is actually checking. Is it a high boot? Probably. Probably it's a high boot. Yeah, it should be a red card when I thought it was a dangerous tackle as well. The way Kyle Walker landed. That's why the ref as well took out the yellow and then he kept it in his pocket. He wasn't. They're calling him to the monitor. It's a red for sure. It's a red for sure. Starts up. Starts up. That kind of a challenge is just not allowed. Yeah, that's a red card. That's a red card. The ref is gonna show the red card. Now won't have much of an impact on the game. No arguments as well. Looks like a nice lad. There was no malicious intent, but that was a red card. There's no argument about it. That was a red card. Interesting. James McAtee is coming on as well. James McAtee is coming on now. This is interesting. I just want Josko Guardiola to plant a bullet header just to end this match. Ha! Laporte, Laporte was almost able to do the job. Just imagine, guys, Ruben Diaz, John Stones, Aymeric Laporte, Josko Guardiola in the how good are we in the air right now? Especially considering even Rodri, Erling Haaland, just Nathan Ake, how good are we in the air right now? That's almost a great ball, but I think Palmer cannot reach it. And that's a throw into Burnley. James McAtee coming on. I don't know if Paqueta comes, what will be the future of James McAtee? I just don't know. Always wanted James McAtee to get a good chance this season. Has been a good game, I would say. Has been a very competitive game. Game was not as easy as the scorecard suggests. 3-0 City did not have a walk in the park. There were moments where it seemed like Burnley could equalize at 1-0, at 2-0. It seemed Burnley could score a goal and bring back to 2-1. Burnley had chances around the way. Burnley definitely had chances around the way. Don't know what Yasko Guardiola had done to that player. Just don't know. Rodri is just waiting for the referee to blow the whistle to be fair. No, no one's interested here in expending more of their energy, and that's it. Referee had added on 2 minutes more and 8 minutes of added time there, and City have won the game 3-0. It wasn't an easy game to start with. Burnley pressed very well. Burnley's pressing was very good. I mean, if you can have people like Kovacic and Rico Lewis dispossess the ball, your pressing has to be damn good. Burnley is just going to surprise so many sides this season. Burnley is not going down for sure. Vinny will keep Burnley up for a long time. Burnley is not going anywhere. They were so good. It's not the Burnley of the old where you play long balls, waste time. They wanted to compete toe to toe with us, the courage and everything. Winnie had just got them drilled very well. I mean, looking at how we look at Bernardo Silva and Vincent Kompany, all of them hugging. It almost seems that the Burnley players are looking at Vincent Kompany and saying, "What is it, boss? You're getting a mini reception here." The City players like you so much. Vinny would be telling, "Someday we'll drive up to Manchester and I'll show all of my statues in there." Look at that, Vincent Kompany. What do you guys reckon? Could Vincent Kompany be a future City boss? I mean, one striking thing for me here is we'll talk about the game, but one striking thing for me here is Pep bought on James McAtee for the last 2 minutes. Pep bought on Cole Palmer. Pep removed Rico Lewis. Pep bought on Aymeric Laporte as well. Okay, different positions, but Pep bought on Aymeric Laporte. But Pep did not bring on Calvin Phillips, if you observe. I mean, Pep bought on James McAtee instead of Calvin Phillips for the last 2 minutes. So doesn't Pep trust Calvin Phillips even for the last 2 3 minutes? That's a bit of a concerning thing. I don't know. And the fact that we want to go so high for Lucas Paqueta as well, where does that leave Calvin Phillips with? Just do not know. I still know that he is the only DM in there. He is the only DM after Rodri, but still, you have to ask questions about where Calvin Phillips is in the pecking order. And look at Burnley's two keepers. I think Aaron Muric and James Trafford. Both of them are from the City Academy. Wow. And Vincent Kompany is a City legend. It almost seems as if Burnley is also becoming a mini city there. But I think coming to the match, it was absolute chaos. I think there were a lot of times when you thought the defense was just about to concede. A lot of chaos. The match was just chaotic, and the fact that Rico Lewis is playing on from left back to left wing, is just playing everywhere. Walker is almost playing as a right winger sometimes. It just doesn't make sense, the formation. There's no winger. Pep Guardiola. I mean, this was an article in Manchester Evening News actually. I think uh, a week, 3 4 days back, it said that Pep Guardiola might do away with wingers, and that could actually be the next big tactical revolution. The article said when everybody is preparing to bring the defender into the midfield, when people like, for example, Xavi at Barcelona is still stuck in the old school of bringing his left back into the midfield. Arteta was stuck in the old school of bringing Gabriel Jesus into the midfield and to press, and Zinchenko into the midfield. Pep Guardiola has gone through all of those iterations and is now going to do away with wingers. That's what the article said, and lo and behold, look at that. You had Foden, you had Alvarez, you had Bernardo, and no one played wing. And your wingers in this match were Kyle Walker and Rico Lewis. No one, and there has been no play through the wing at all. In the entire match, you could hardly count. Okay, in the build-up play, it's fine, but in the attacking phase, you could hardly count 3 4 times when the ball went to the wing. That does not seem to be the style this season. This season, guys, get ready for a rock and roll style this season. This season, the style of football just seems to be go direct through balls. I mean, Ederson played 10 through balls to Haaland, almost 10 aerial through balls to Haaland. Kovacic played 4 5 through balls. Rodri had almost played 2 3 through balls. Nathanaike was playing through balls. It almost seemed as if it was a clear instruction from Pep Guardiola to play and attempt those through balls, whether it's aerially or whether it's straight through. Now you can understand why we want Lucas Paqueta and why we want Jeremy Doku. Just imagine Jeremy Doku in place of your Bernardo or Alvarez making those runs along with Haaland. And Foden had chances today, but just imagine Doku in place of Foden with those sort of with the pace and stuff. That would just be fantastic. If this is how we are gonna go, I actually want Phil Foden to play as a CM, for example, in place of Kovacic, so that he can dictate the play from deep. So it's very interesting how we played it. It is a very, I mean, very exciting match, very chaotic match. I would say it was a match where Pep Guardiola has, innovated again. It wasn't a match of your old tactics of, John Stones coming in. Pep Guardiola, it seems, is in full attacking mode. He's not interested in playing tiki taka and all of that stuff. Through ball, through ball, through ball. 3 pass goal, 4 pass goal. That's what Pep Guardiola is aiming for. this just could be the most monstrous iteration that a Pep Guardiola side could undergo in terms of attacking wise, especially when you see the talents of Haaland, Alvarez, Bernardo, and everyone over there. This could be gone. Pep has completely in the last 2 seasons. I think Pep has completely detached away from his tiki-taka style of Barcelona or from Bayern Munich and all. Okay, the concepts might be there, the box midfield and all of that, but he has completely detached from that tiki taka and all of that style. This is rock and roll football. This is football that is direct. This is football that is like, you know, rocks on ice, liquor on the rocks. That's how this football. This is almost reminiscent to heavy metal football, which Klopp had tried in a different way. That was high pressing, but this is through ball, through ball, through ball with runners in behind. That is just superb. I also think Pep Guardiola might have looked at this system and he would have thought this is the antithesis to how do you deal with Arsenal. Because the Arsenal are sort of, Arteta is now trying to mold them into sort of, nice passing team where you pass through the opposition's press. And when Pep Guardiola was growing through his Barcelona days, how did Mourinho dethrone Pep Guardiola at Barcelona? This sort of football, fast counter-attacking football, how did Real Madrid destroy Bayern Munich in Pep's first season, counter-attacking football? How did Bayern Munich get knocked out in all of the Champions League games, counter-attacking football? How did Liverpool, knock City out of the Champions League 2017? High metal football, heavy metal football. That is what Pep Guardiola is trying to do here. He's seen that Mikel Arteta has created another version of a Pep team in Arsenal, and Pep Guardiola now with his experience and with Juan Malilo beside him is like, I will hit you on the break, son. I will hit you on the break long and hard. Now Mikel Arteta has to gear up for something here because are gonna hit them hard on the break. Liverpool are gonna bang them hard on the break. City are gonna hit them on the break. United of all people are gonna just smash them. You look at the pace of United, Rashford, Ireland, Anthony, Sancho. I mean, it almost seems as if Mikel Arteta's team might be the only team along with Spurs who could be playing this sort of tiki-taka short pass football. Because when Brighton is like when they hit you on the break hard and stuff. So thanks a lot again, guys, for joining me, and it is fantastic interacting with you again. And see you all, guys.